You've all been told two lies growing up. The first, you'll never amount to anything. Maybe you heard it from a parent, a teacher, someone you hoped would believe in you. And the second lie is, you can be anything you want. Maybe you heard it from a speaker or from someone in your life. But the truth is, you can't be anything you want, but you can be everything you are. Many of us get paralyzed by the pursuit of passion and purpose. But by the end of this video, you'll know how to find yours. One of the main reasons you struggle to find your passion and purpose is because you believe you have to have found it by a certain age. I meet so many people who say, Jay, I'm 20 years old. Should I know my purpose? Jay, I'm 30 years old. How is it that I don't know my passion? I'm 40, I'm still figuring it out. The truth is, it's something that we're constantly collecting and connecting. We're collecting new experiences, we're connecting them with old ones, and that's what starts to build our passion and purpose. Many of us feel pressure to find our purpose in our 20s, but many successful people find their stride later. In his biography, Andre Agassi dropped a bombshell on the world. The former world's #1 tennis player, 8-time Grand Slam champion and gold medal winner, didn't like tennis. Agassi was pushed into playing by his father, and though he was incredible at the game, he hated playing it. The fact that he was tremendously successful and made loads of money didn't matter. It wasn't his purpose. But Agassi transitioned his on-court success into his true passion. Instead of serving aces, he's now serving others. The Andre Agassi Foundation runs a K-12 college prep school for at-risk youth. We often think that there's one clear path to purpose. We often think that someone must have figured it out. Can I not just use that same formula in my life? And the truth is, there's no one clear way, but there are 4 paths that you can consider. Here's what they are. The first is pain. So many people who now live purposeful lives found their purpose through pain. What do I mean by this? They experienced a pain early on in life, and they so badly wanted no one to ever experience that pain again that they started helping others get through it. Maybe you've gone through a particular life event and you'd never wish it on your worst enemy. Maybe you experienced something at a young age and you hope no one ever has to go through that. Maybe you overcame a pain. A lot of you may be survivors. Maybe you beat a disease. And now you want to give other people the strength, the courage, the motivation to do the same. That's when you're turning your pain into purpose. This is the second path to purpose. Number 2, potential. A lot of us have skills, we have mindsets, we have abilities that we're not even sure about, that we're not even aware of. You have got hidden potential inside of you. Maybe you have a particular way your mind works around problem solving. Maybe you've got a really cool skill that you never knew until later on in life when you actually experimented and explored. So many of us don't sample until later on in life. The process of sampling is saying, I'm gonna try a new skill every weekend for a whole year. You're now gonna test yourself for 52 skills. I promise you, you're going to see yourself have an innate ability in 1 or 2 of them. A lot of us may test 1 a year for the next 10 years. A lot of us may test 1 over the next 10 years. The point is, it's all a game of odds. The more chances you take at testing your experiences, testing your skills, the more likely you're quickly going to discover what you naturally have a talent, potential, and skill for. I remember when I was 18 and I was doing so many different things. I was doing everything from managing, leading, speaking, organizing, and that's when I discovered that I loved learning, teaching, and sharing. It became a part of my life ever since 18, and all I then had to do was hone that skill, develop it, build it, find new ways of challenging myself, and it continues to be something I pursue today. It's as simple as that. Find out what your hidden potential is by allowing yourself to fail, allowing yourself to make mistakes, allowing yourself to try as many things as you possibly can over the next 12 months, or better than that, over the next 30 days. Number 3 is a problem you see in the planet. Maybe there's something around you, something you see. It may not even be something you've experienced, but it's a challenge you feel pulled to solve, a cause that you feel called to help. I know many people who say, I'm struggling to see what's happening to our environment. I have to help. I know other people who say, I'm really struggling to see how animals are treated. I have to help. There are so many things that we feel called to. Now, this is often what we think of as purpose, and a lot of us keep waiting for that calling. We keep wishing for that calling until we do something. And that's why I often find that the other parts are so useful. It could come from your own pain, it could come from your own potential, and now it can come from an outside problem or an outside pain that, like I said, you may not have experienced personally, but you feel like you want to help. And the fourth path to purpose is platform. As we just discussed in the case of Andre Agassi, he was able to use the platform that he'd built in order to have a positive impact. I meet and speak to so many people who feel like they've wasted the last 10 to 20 years of their life chasing a career, chasing a title, chasing a promotion, and now they feel like it's been worthless. And the truth is, it isn't. Any experience you have, anything that you've achieved up until now can be used. It's a platform that you stand on that can be used to have a positive impact in the world. Don't downplay your experience. Don't downplay the skills. Don't downplay all the work you've done. No matter what age you are, no matter where you are in your life, you can use everything you've built, everything you've learned in order to serve and help other people. Now, one of the biggest questions I get is, Jay, how do I actually discover my potential? How do I actually discover my skill? How do I actually discover my passion in order to help others with it? Sometimes you're just struggling to find that direction. I want to give you an exercise that I want you to do with me right now that will help you discover it in the next few moments. What I want you to do is create 4 lists. The first list is what you have a skill in, but no passion. There may be something that you're pretty good at. Maybe you're naturally good at numbers. Maybe you're a great editor. Maybe you're really good at understanding people's behavior. But maybe it's something you're not passionate about. This is likely what you actually do for work. A lot of our jobs and a lot of our work is based on things that we're actually good at, but we may not actually enjoy. And I want you to make a list of the 3 things that exist in that category. The second list I want you to make is things that you have no skill in, but you do have a passion for. Maybe there's something that you're like, oh, I love photography, but I'm a terrible photographer, right? I absolutely love art, but I know nothing about buying and selling art. What is something that you're curious about, something that you're passionate about, but you don't already have a skill in? This is something that becomes something you can learn and build upon. Now, the third list I want you to make is something that you have no skill and no passion in whatsoever. This is a list of things where you're like, I'm not good at it and I don't like it, I don't enjoy it, I want nothing to do with it. Hopefully this is something in the future that you'll be able to outsource. Sometimes in the beginning, it's something you have to just get on with, just make happen, and you get it. This is not something you want to do forever, but it may be something that you need to learn in the short term. Now, what we want to do with these 3 lists is that we want to use them to populate the purpose box, which is skill and passion. Your purpose is not just something that you're passionate about. It's not just something that you're excited about. It's something that you're actually really good at. I think this is something that's often missed in the conversation around finding passion and finding purpose. We think, oh, as long as I love it and as long as I like it and as long as it's meaningful, then that's a purpose. Well, the truth is that unless we get really strategic, really diligent, really focused about it, it will always remain a hobby. It will remain a nice thing that we do. There's an incredible quote that I love from Martin Luther King that says that people who love peace need to learn to organize themselves as well as those who love war. This is one of my most important and deep beliefs, that sometimes those of us that love goodness and love positive frequencies can be quite unorganized. We can be kind of wishy-washy and woo-woo, but actually being strategic and focused allows us to build something that has genuine impact. So with your first list, which is skill but no passion, ask yourself, how could you become passionate about that skill? What is something that you could do to make it more meaningful? How could you allow yourself to get excited about it, even if it's something you're not currently excited about? All of a sudden, you're pushing that into the main box that we want to be in. Now I want you to look at the next list. No skill but passionate about. Again, like I said, it could be photography. Book that photography course. Get a friend who's a wedding photographer or an events photographer to show you around. Go and shadow someone for the day. Who's someone in your life that could help you learn that skill, introduce you to a new trade? All of a sudden, you're now pushing that skill into this box as well. You're moving into the purpose space. And finally, look at this list. Something you have no skill and no passion for, but maybe you need it right now. Maybe you just started your own business. Maybe you got a little side hustle going on. How are you going to do the things you may not even enjoy or love or be good at in order to help you push in that direction? These 3 lists are a great place to start when trying to discover your hidden potential. I think one of our biggest challenges around our conversations of purpose and passion is that they're all about what we do and not how we think about what we do. They're about what we're doing rather than who we're being. They're about how we act rather than how we think and feel about how we choose to act. I want to share a case study with you to explain that. Amy Wrzesniewski and her team at the Yale School of Management went out in search for what they believed was the most difficult job in the world. Now, the most difficult job in the world that they found in around 2019 was to be a hospital cleaner. They believed that was the most difficult job. The job included cleaning floors, toilets, plates, bathrooms, bed sheets, everything else. They had to clean up after people used those things and clean up after people even passed away. It was an extremely difficult job. So they went and interviewed these cleaners. Now, these cleaners, in their own words, described themselves as low-skilled labor. They said we clean floors, toilets, plates, etc., etc. They then continued to interview these cleaners, and they found a whole new group of cleaners who described themselves as healers and as carers. These healers worked the same hours as the cleaners, they worked in the same hospitals as the cleaners, they had the same shifts, the same pay, the same bosses. But some saw themselves as cleaners and some saw themselves as healers. So they asked them why. The healers replied, because we believe cleaning is integral to the healing journey of the patient. If the hospital room is cleaner, people feel better about what they're going through. If their space is cleaner, their family spends more time with them. It is integral and critical to how they feel. Amy Wrzesniewski and her team coined the term job crafting, where your job wasn't about what you did every day, but how you felt about what you did every day. There's an incredible statement from one of my favorite authors, Wayne Dyer, where he said, when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. I challenge you today to look at your work differently, to look up from your phone, to look up from your laptops, your iPads, to look beyond your screen, to look beyond your spreadsheets, your PowerPoint presentations, whatever it may be, your keynotes, and ask you, who does your work positively impact? We get so caught up in the day-to-day that we forget that what we create improves the life of someone out there. And when we reconnect with that feeling, we're changing the way we look at things, even if we can't change the thing itself, right now or this year. And remember, your passion is for you, your purpose is for others. When you use your passion in the service of others, it becomes a purpose. Hey everyone, I'm so glad that you found my channel. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you click the subscribe button so that you never miss another one. I'm so glad to be back on YouTube. Thanks for being here.